Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of ShareNet. Today I'm joined by Dave, who will be talking about his experience at RCD throughout his years. Dave, thank you for joining me today.
Hello.
Thank you. I know it's very busy. You've been all around this mall, and you've been all around the center, and you've been just running around everywhere. Thank you so much for giving me the time today to talk to you. Now, I'm going to jump right into the questions. So the theme of this quarter is Meet the Team. So we're going to learn a little bit more about you, Dave. My first question is, what is your official title here at RCD?
My official title is Community Outreach Coordinator. I like to call it Handshaker Baby Kisser.
Handshaker Baby Kisser.
That's an old term for people that go out and meet the community, talk to people, interact.
Okay. And is that the main job duty as being in your position, or are there more? I know that you do a lot of workshops and education series and so on. Tell me more about that.
Well, my job title when I first got hired here was to do more public education, and then the job kind of adapted. But I handle sort of public relations. I do a lot of public speaking in the community, let people know about us. And I also do a lot of sort of workshops for the public to sort of kind of go, oh, hey, these guys do this, and sort of bring people in, all sort of focused around trying to expose the community to RCD and what we do.
Very cool. So maybe a little bit of a snapshot of what you're working on now. Maybe we can expect that in maybe a month or two. Are there some particular project that you're working on?
Well, I've been sort of feeling like this COVID was the worst possible thing for an extrovert. and it's been very hard to connect with the community. I felt very blind because there's been a lot of changes. There's been a lot of people moving and jobs changing and responsibilities. And, I'll phone a place that I used to always phone all the time, and you don't recognize the voices. And,
New people.
Yeah. And so I'm really focused this year on collaboration and getting my sort of network back so I can kind of know who's in those jobs and who's out there and what the community wants,
right?
Especially. So we're going to be launching a sort of a community connection project, where we're streamlining our education the way we do it. We're going to give people more opportunities of ways to get our information, and it's going to be very mobile, very flexible. You're going to see me popping up outdoors at picnic tables all over the place, just giving people as many possible ways of getting the information that we're producing and the content that we have.
Fantastic. I look forward to that, especially the picnic tables and all. But right now it's a bit too cold.
Yeah.
So maybe a bit too early. But yeah, I look forward to that in summer where all the community members can connect with one another once again.
I basically want to get people sick of seeing me.
Hey, that's good.
If someone says, I'm sick of seeing you, I've done my job for the year.
Thank you, Dave. And you've been such a wonderful person for people to go to for connections. I mean, like the first person that I will go to when I have a question related to, how do I find this kind of resource, or who should I talk to? I will think of Dave, because you just know so many people.
It's kind of coming from being in so many backgrounds and so many fields. I describe it as the guy who knew the guy whose son went to school with his cousin friend's hairdresser, just some connection at some point. And my dad was the same way. I learned it from my dad. He was the same way.
Very cool. Yeah, I'm unfortunately I can't say the same for myself. I'm the opposite of you, more introvert. So COVID was okay for me. All right, so next question. How did you get started here? So do you remember when that was?
Well, when I moved to Richmond, I was I still am, but I was actively fighting a chronic illness, or an illness that I've had for 25 years. And I was just looking for information. And I remember coming in the office and seeing the huge wall of pamphlets. And I'd be grabbing all kinds of stuff because I was new to the city. I didn't know where anything was. And I was trying to and then I was a participant basically in one of the job programs here. they called it navigating the waters
Right,
back
right,
then.
right.
And our boss, our ED, Ella, was my job coach.
Okay, so back then she was not the ED yet, right?
No.
Yeah, okay, okay.
No.
Oh, that goes back.
Yeah.
Huh. Well, what year was that? Do you remember?
Oh gosh,
Or
that
how
would
many
have been
years ago?
probably 1999
Wow.
ish. Yeah.
Okay, wow, that's good. Whew, long time ago. Okay, and so you started here as a participant, okay, and then what eventually happened and then made you a staff of RCD?
Well, through the years that we sort of established ourselves in Richmond, I was able to put myself back through school.
Okay.
And when I was finishing that, RCD was kind of having problems with a position that they had where the person wasn't quite the right fit.
Right, right.
But I wasn't able to take a full-time job. I still am not able to work full-time. So we combined a job with two people, and Kathy, who's now retired, and we shared one job basically, and we split it apart, and we used what her, because this person that was in the job before, she spoke several languages, and it was really great for networking and information, but she wasn't the most outgoing person.
Yep.
So I kind of went ching, and I filled that part of it. And so we basically job shared, or we cut the job in half, and that's how we've worked it. And then it sort of adapted from there.
Yeah, fantastic. I think that was a good team. That was definitely the golden years of RCD. Yeah, I've never seen such a good team together. Yeah, absolutely.
And it was the
amazing.
perfect fit for what I needed at the time, because I needed to sort of start slow. I didn't know how much I'd be able to handle, and from there, so it was a perfect fit.
All right, my next question is about, now you've been here quite some time. What do you like about RCD?
Well, it's the variety, I think, and the multi-discipline, or not discipline, but disabilities. And just, you never quite know. I've always been in jobs where you never quite know what's going to happen every day you come in. And I kind of like that about it. I'm not really a traditional office type person, but that's, I think, the most I like about it. And just reaching the people when I put myself through school and went back to work, I said to myself, whatever I'm doing, it's like, this is part of my recovery. Mm-hmm. My job is my recovery and how I manage my illness. So it's my distraction and whatnot else. So it's more than just a paycheck and whatnot else. It has to have another element to it. Mm-hmm. And that's what RCD has. So
fantastic. Now you've been here for so many years. There must be challenges. Can you describe some of that to us?
Well, I'm not your traditional office type guy. I never worked in an office before. I was a prison guard. I was a military officer. It was very high stress sort of things. So I really had to learn about the sort of office politics and how to, some of the sort of standard procedures that you did. My illness itself caused a lot of problems because I would have muscle spasms. I would fall asleep. I would all of a sudden break out into a sweat in the middle of a meeting or something like that. And in a lot of traditional workplaces, those could be really challenging for people. And that was the other thing that was great. One of my favorite stories was I used to have to find places to do the RDSP leadership program that Ella was teaching. And I was the guy who found places. But when we first started, she wanted me to go to one and listen to it. And we went, and it was a very packed boardroom with a lot of people on a rainy day. And we walked over,
right.
And I instantly fell asleep about 5 minutes in. And all these people were trying to wake me up because they thought I was going to get fired as soon as I got out of this thing. And that was the nice thing, that Ella was just kind of, oh yeah, he does that all the time. And they're like, buddy, you're going to lose your job.
Boss is right next to you. Yeah. Oh, that's good.
That was an interesting one, because that was one. So it's just been figuring out those challenges. And I don't come from a traditional background of working with people with disabilities. So I've been able to I just go, let's try it sort of thing. I don't have that sort of, those sort of dormer around, this sort of, oh, well, this is what we're supposed to do because this is what we're trained to do. And I just go, let's throw it in there. Let's see what happens. Right.
That's right. And to keep yourself awake, just nowadays, I see you using your ball, right? That's one of the reasons why you
Right.
sit on your ball.
Yeah.
Okay. So just bouncing up and down.
And that
give you
wasn't
momentum.
always easy to, places that I was looking at for work and things, I had to actually transport a ball to their office ahead of starting work there and ask them if it was okay if I sat on that there. And so a lot of those things would, I would have to get up in the middle of, something and just walk around just to wake up. I sat at my desk slapping myself in the face, and it's just not things you see in a traditional office.
Understood. Thank you. Now, last question. Any messages for our viewers?
I think the big thing is to try to, with RCD, is to try not to sort of fall into those labels. I teach a class on gadgets and whatnot, and I don't tell anybody what the names of the things are, because if I do, then that's what they think it's exactly used for, and they might not see what they've been looking for all the time because it didn't have a name, and they went, oh, hey. So it's like, don't worry about if we're going to check your disability at the door sort of thing, and just really come in and see where your connection is, because everyone has a connection to disability somewhere. It's just, how quickly or, the effort is to find it. So come in, poke around, take a look, and don't sort of worry about those labels. I guess the big thing, because we, now being in the mall, we have so many people that just kind of poke their head in, and they're curious, but they're not sure. And it's kind of that, because we all sort of strive for those labels. Oh, I can go here because I'm this, right? And it's just come on in and poke around and see.
That's right. Try different activities. We have everything from English classes, exercise classes, to music related sessions. So, come in and find out what is the best for you.
And there's volunteer opportunities as well. And maybe you live in a building that there's a guy in a wheelchair, and hey, I just walked by there the other day and I was waiting for my license to be printed, and I poked in and I picked up this pamphlet for you, and there's always a connection somewhere.
Absolutely. Thank you, Dave. That's all we have time for today. Thank you, viewers, for watching. Remember to like our video and subscribe to our channel if you haven't done so already. Thank you. Thank you, Dave. Bye all.
Bye all.
Everyone.